Well, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? That was from talented Leah Shaw, one of her pieces called Story from Under the Leaves. And that's my cousin Scott Shaw's daughter. How are we doing today? I see a few people on here. And actually, I'm just kind of want to check in a little bit. First, to remind you that tomorrow's show is going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. And I think we need to center it around our moms, of course. Maybe we'll get a few moms to come on here. Hoping Aunt Donna will come on, and Khaki, and maybe we can get Carol. I hope Celeste is watching. But anyways, I was hoping to do a real short show today because I got a few things to do. I got to go get a new lawnmower. Hey, Dave. Good. All right. I'm glad you got it. Actually, I was tracking it, and I think you were. I knew you were going to get it today. So cool. Yeah, maybe you can pop on and model that T-shirt for me. How about that? I'm going to put the link up here. I don't know, maybe a 20-minute show, a half-hour show today, unless somebody's got something really pressing to talk about, because I have to go around and pry open my wallet and get a new lawnmower. It's time to mow the lawn. It is deep in the front. Deep in the front. So good, Dave. I'm glad you got it. It's actually real easy to use. I don't know if you used to brew up compost teas, but I'll tell you what, if you brew up a compost tea, your garden will love you for it, and it will perform. All your plants will perform at another level. compost teas. They're easy. They're almost free to make. Actually, you need a little bit of equipment. You need an air pump and an air stone and some clean water that's preferably unchlorinated. And you can brew up a living nutrient that, well, I'm going to call you on that one, Dave. You don't, because basically what you're doing when you're brewing tea is it's an incubator for all the, there's a term they use called mycorrhizae, which involves bacteria, fungus, nematodes it's the biome of what's under the soil. And basically a tea brewer is that you're incubating that stuff. So you don't want to use fresh poop because fresh poop could have E. coli in it. And you don't want to brew up E. coli because it could be very toxic. So if you do use poop in your compost teas, make sure it's well composted. That's an advanced tip, by the way. That's an advanced tip. But yeah, my house plants rock. People all the time assume my plants are fake. I especially have one that I've had for years, and they love compost tea. And you can, it's actually a great source of vigor for your plants. I know these things. Anywho, I put the link up. If there's nothing real important today, we'll probably get through here this pretty quick. Tomorrow's the show's from 2 to 4 p.m. We want to have it mama centric. So stories about your mom or good stories. We're going to talk about good stories. And who recognizes, I'm sure it's an iconic location behind me that I know most everybody's been to before. And it's nostalgic for me. Who recognizes my background today? A little quiet, Dave. You're the only one out there popping your name up on the screen, so I appreciate that. And it's making it a little easier for me to go ahead and say, yeah, let's just do what we need to do on this beautiful afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon, kind of a little overcast up here, kind of wanting to rain kind of deal. And I love these kind of spring days. You're close. You're actually very close, but it's within that it's a subset of that. Now you got to know what that is, right? Everybody recognizes that thing behind me. Boom, boom. There, Uncle Joe. And I'm wondering, I don't even remember if Uncle Joe's been to Disneyland. Ooh, look at that. We're seeing some doorway. Ooh. There we go. Got a little faux pas. Disneyland. Yes, sir. Disneyland. Oh, I see Joe and Kurt's in here. Well, good. I kind of like to keep it a short show just because I got to go buy me a lawnmower. Hate to buy things like that. Pirates of the Caribbean. It is. Remember that little dog there? And I think it's a bone. They're waving at that dog, and they want to make a trade, don't they? They want to barter. They want to trade that bone for those keys. I think we could all relate to that picture's worth 1,000 words right there. It'll grab you by the heartstrings, won't it? So, anything new? Any burning topics that anyone wants to discuss? I'm almost done with one. I got one Otter Pop. I had a visit today from one of my cousins, but I don't know if it's a secret or not. So I guess we'll just leave it as a mystery. Duckies are still doing good. Still got 10 of them, which is kind of cool. We'll see how long we can keep them going. We might have to give a couple of those away. Because if you have ducks, females are good. Males are kind of, you got too many males, it's trouble. So I might have to get rid of some of the boys. There, we got Kurt coming on. Let me get you up here, old man. And what you got to say today, Curtis?
So almost every day when I turn on your show, and I watch it almost every day, I go, I'm not going to go on today because I go on too much. I'm not going to go on, but you always have some compelling reason, and I have a story about that scene behind you right there. When I was probably 13 or 14 years old, a bunch of us went to Disneyland, and with our parents, and remember Jerry Gray and Janet Gray. Jerry Gray was with me. And we went on that ride, and there's a part of that ride that goes real close to a lot of treasure, right? Just this room just full of like treasure. And back then the boat went a little closer to that treasure than it does now, that I noticed, because I reached over and I was going to grab a piece of that treasure, but it was glued down. I could touch it, but I couldn't pick anything up, right?
That's my story.
So, seriously?
Yeah, I've done the same thing. When the lights all come on, they take you to Disneyland jail.
They didn't take me to Disneyland jail, but they shook me down pretty good for a 13-year-old kid, and they weren't real happy.
No,
you did the same thing. That's funny.
No, I think that must run in our blood then, because I remember all the lights came on, the boats all stopped.
That didn't happen with me, but they shook me down after the ride.
Yeah.
But I noticed that ride doesn't get nearly close enough to reach out and try to grab a piece of that gold now. You're a good 4 or 5 feet away from it now.
Nope, and there is a Disneyland jail. Believe it or not, I've been there. I think I've been there more than once, actually.
I believe that.
I think I have. A couple of questions I'm going to do out there. Lynn Brown, Leah Shaw is Scott Shaw's daughter. That's who Leah Shaw is, and I think she does music lessons in that area. If I'm not mistaken, she still lives there. Jen is here. Damien, Cac, should I be Damien? Yes, okay. You're asking, I'll tell my Aunt Cac. Damien stopped by my house today about 12:30. He stayed for about 15 minutes. He spent the night last night, I guess, up in Brookings. I was a little offended, I must say. I have an open bedroom here, but that's okay.
I think he had a little bit more interesting thing going on in Brookings than at your house.
Probably. I didn't want to go there, but
I'll go there.
I wonder why Cac spells Damien different than Damien spells Damien. I wonder if she
Interesting question.
Yeah, interesting.
All right.
Well, Cac, why do you call by? Because I've sent things like from Damian Marley to Damien or something. He goes, my name's spelled differently. It's E-N. So
maybe Damien doesn't know how to spell his name.
Maybe. I wonder what's on his birth certificate. How about that? Maybe he's been misspelling his name all these years.
I misspelled my name for a while.
How'd you spell it?
Lynn.
Oh. How is it?
Lyn.
Oh, okay.
I looked at my birth certificate.
Like Lynn Brown. Does anyone else see a blurry screen? No? That's from Joe.
All right. I'll let somebody else come up. I don't want to hog the show.
Okay, well, yeah.
Let Joe come up and hog it. He's the most interesting guy anyway.
He's going to have to, if he wants to stay on too long, he's going to have to sit here while I go to the store, because I need to go buy me I need to said that already. And then I tell you, I'm so proud of this, I'm crazy. But I sold a package to Slovakia. What the F? Even my partner, I told he sells worldwide. He's actually he sells. He's in the game, and he's a huge player, and he sells in Europe, and he's never sold in Slovakia. He was curious, how do they know about it in Slovakia? I don't know, but I did send him a couple T-shirts, and I asked him, the guy I sent the T-shirts to in Slovakia, I said, please take a picture with your flag behind you or something, or a local landmark, because that will be one for my collection. Slovakia. Well, there's 7 people. Let me drop that link again. If it's not a big deal, tomorrow the show is from 2 to 4, and we want to have it Oops, enter. We want to have a kind of a mother's theme. I think I think Kurt, maybe Kurt, remember, he's going to go and hook up his mom, and at least she can watch maybe, and Kurt and Cindy can relay the messages to her if you have any questions for Aunt Donna. I hope she's feeling better tomorrow. I do. And I don't know. I think Celeste might watch this show. If she is, hello, Celeste. Hope everything is well. And yeah, Damien seemed in a pretty good spirits today. He was pretty jovial and happy. I would like to spend a little more time with him, but I do understand the situation. I did not really take it too personal. My goodness, beautiful day up here. Kind of wants to rain. It's a little balmy, I think they call it, when it's a little humid before a good rain, a little warm. Love these kind of spring days, and boy, the grass grows. I think you could probably watch it grow at this time of year. No, I don't know if Celeste. Maybe you know a little more information than I do. Another thing is I don't, I don't see everything you see. I don't. It's just the way this thing works. And sometimes I'll see people say, "Well, like, hello, Sahara," or "Hello, somebody," and I'm wondering how do they know they're on here? I don't know. It's a mystery to me. So I see right now Joe and Lynn and Jennifer and Mary Dietz, aka Khaki, is up here. Dave Jagger was here earlier. Jennifer, yeah. So, does it want to just I've said more than I want to say. And by the way, I sold a package in Slovakia. Yes. How about that? You want to hear me say that another 100 times? There you go. So awkward. So I'm surprised Uncle Joe has been on. Have you been on the Pirates of the Caribbean? I wonder how many millions of people have been on that ride. I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. Joe, you got anything to say? Anything interesting? Ready? Are we ready to move on from this? This and just there's somebody coming on. Look at that. You do you I think you got to get the reward for the best. I think you're on a loop again. Killing me, Smalls.
Hold on. Hold on. How's that?
Good. What's going on today, Joe?
Well, nothing. I just feel sorry for you when it starts to look awkward up there.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's only fair somebody else comes up and gets awkward too.
No, it's
sharing the pain with you. That's all. Nothing going on here.
Okay, I see Damien. Damien chimed in. Hey, Damien, he's just outside of Ashton. You made pretty good time then. I know. See, Damien knows what it takes to get a premiere sign on the show. He's figured it out. Danny Wells knows it too. All you gotta do is compliment me, and you're going to get a marquee.
Did you say you had rain there today?
It kind of wants to. It's like one of those days where it wants to rain.
I'll come up here and be awkward with Joe.
Between the three of us, maybe we'll help get through it.
I got a little bit of a story. It's not very interesting, but we started the day by taking the dogs for a walk today, which is kind of Linda and I's routine on the weekend. She pretty much walks the dogs every day during the week, 2.5 miles. So we did it today, and then we got home, and we're trying to think what we're going to do. We were trying to get up and get some soil for some plants that we're going to get going this year, and the guy never returned our call. And so I said, well, let's pack up the bikes and go down. She thought it might be good to go down to Balboa Park, thinking that, everything's closed down and you could ride. There's a lot to ride through Balboa Park, but so we get down there and they've got Balboa Park sealed off. I mean, the entries are actually, there's somebody there at the entry saying, nope, you're not coming in. And no, Balboa Park was completely dead. Nobody in there at all. So we decided, well, let's just go down to the bay, and we could park at Seaforth and ride out to Hospitality Point, which is, pretty short ride. And we had lunch, and coming back home, it rained on us. It got cold. Inland here in La Mesa is, 70, 80 degrees, but down at the beach, it was rainy and cold. Wasn't pretty.
Oh, that sounds beautiful to me.
Is it hot up there?
We're in the 90s here.
Yeah, you would enjoy it. The only bad thing is that we got a pretty bad case of red tide. So red tide, I didn't really smell it today. I actually smelled the red tide a couple of days ago when I went to Linda's sister-in-law's house to do some work. She lives a couple miles east of the ocean, and got out of my truck and went, oh, there's something dead in their house. And the whole neighborhood, it smelled like something was dead. And like I said, you're a couple miles from the ocean, but that red tide is, I don't know if the red tide actually stinks or the fish that it kills washes up on the beach and stinks. But it's ugly until at night, and then it's I think it's called bioluminescence, isn't it, Pat? Where have you ever seen bioluminescence on the ocean water, Pat? Joe, have you ever seen it?
No.
It's like green or blue.
It's very bright, right? And like if your boat makes a wake, or even if you go pee in the water, when it hits the water and like splashes up this bioluminescence, it kind of reminds me of Northern Lights for beach people. It's kind of like, it's one of those, wow, what a trip. The waves actually glow at night. It's kind of neat. I don't know if anybody else, I'm sure, Maggie has seen it, and Danny Well, people that live on the coast have seen it. It's not that unusual. It happens a couple times a year. So that was our day.
I do miss the ocean. That's the thing about Chico. We don't have an ocean.
No, but you got other things to do there.
Okay, here, I'll show you how good I am. I'm getting pretty good at this. Look at that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, cool, Pat. Really cool. That's what it looks like, Joe. It's a trip. It really is.
I think that might be enhanced a little bit. I've never seen it quite that bright, but it is definitely something you see for sure.
Dennis, I had experienced it when we were fishing in Loreto one time. We got up, or our captain got us up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. We had a long trip to make, and it was bioluminescence going on, and just kind of tripping out on it. It was kind of cool.
I agree.
So, I had a fun experience today. I'll share, only because it was so embarrassing. It'll give people a chance to laugh at me.
Oh, that's always fun.
So I go over this morning to get paid for this job. The guys finished yesterday. And on the side of the house, it's just covered with rose bushes. These little, like 1 foot high, close to the ground rose bushes. And the guys had left a rope tied around a big bush. So I had to walk around the bush trying to find the knot, which I ended up just cutting it off. But while I was walking around it, I didn't think about this till later, I could feel those rose bushes kind of scratching my legs. So I didn't think nothing of it. It didn't hurt. So I go to the store. I come home. I'm taking my socks off, and I look down, and my legs have like 20 cuts, and they're red with blood, just dripping down all the way down to my feet. The back of them, the front of them. Yeah, I was at the store like that in my short pants with blood all over my legs.
People socially distancing away from you quick. Get away
So
from
moral
that
of
guy.
the story is always check your legs when you walk through rose bushes. Now I've got my legs are all bandaged up.
Get some aloe vera.
Rose bushes are painter's greatest enemy. My dad had some good names for rose bushes. Mostly he called them "Goddamn you, Isabel."
You told everything that though, Joe. That
He
was
called a
everything.
lot of things "Goddamn you, Isabel."
I think we all remember that. I think we all do. At least we think we have memories of it. We've heard it so many times now.
Well, I trust me. I heard that a lot. Joe, did you ever go to Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh yeah, all the way back when I was a kid.
Okay.
Did you ever take Becky and Barney to Disneyland?
I took Barney when he was about 3. That's
Yeah.
probably the last time I had been there.
Yeah.
And yeah, interesting Disneyland story, but it involves drugs, so I'd probably leave that one alone.
No,
I think right now, before they close down, I think to get into Disneyland, just the one park, it was a little over $100 per person.
yeah, it's cray.
They could go bankrupt. Be weird if they closed.
That's a big corporation. Yeah, but you're right. They're losing a lot of money. And how do you open a place like Disneyland when it's built for max capacity? It's built to be crowded.
Yeah,
I've been at Disneyland before where you could hardly walk around. It's just ridiculously crowded.
No, 3-4 hours to get on a ride. That's just
Yeah.
not worth it. Best time to go to Disneyland is on a rainy day. At
Yeah.
least I went there one time on a rainy day back in the early 70s, and there was nobody there. It was like, I don't know if Southern Californians are afraid of the rain or what the deal was. And I thought,
Yeah, I
man,
used to
do it. Wait till it rains.
work with a Jehovah Witness, and he said the best time was to go was on Christmas Day.
Are they even
Well,
this day? I guess they
Uh,
might be.
I think Disneyland really never closed before. I don't think. Wasn't there something when Disneyland did close? It's the first time they ever closed. So I think they are open on Christmas, Pat.
Wow. I didn't know that. I think I've been there on New Year's. I think I might have went with you on New Year's once.
With me?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. I remember a trip.
Maybe that was the same time we got the
I-
Pirates of the Caribbean, and we just got our memories kind of. You remembered it one way, and I remembered it another way.
It could be.
Could be. Yeah.
Could be.
Do you have much memory of when your mom and Aunt Joyce took us to Catalina? Do you have a lot of memory of that? Or because you were pretty young, you were like 6.
I think we talked about on the hydroplane there, the little hydrofoil boat. I remember there were fish that you could watch them fly.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. Yeah,
diver out there in that bay. That was you throw money out or something, and then they would go down and get it, and then flying back on a seaplane. Yeah, of course, I remember that.
I remember you and I just mostly wanted to hang out at the arcades on Avalon there. That's all we really wanted to do.
That's a big. Did I mention I need to go get what would be a good lawnmower to get? I have a Husqvarna now, but it's just 15 years old and it's all rusted through. And
Honda.
I was gonna say Honda. You gotta pay a little more money, but you know the trick to those small engines. It's not really a trick, but have you ever had a small engine, like a 4-stroke small engine, like maybe a generator or most chainsaws are 2-stroke, but and it sits for maybe a year and a half, and it will not start. The carburetor gets gummed up. So what you want to do with those is you want to buy that gas with no ethanol in it at all. If you're going to have a lawnmower that might sit for 3 or 4 months without being used, because I think I've told you this before, that And you know better than me, so I'll fumble through it, and then you can correct me when I'm done. Ethanol actually it collects water, condensation, whatever. It collects water, and then when it collects so much water, it I'm going to say expand, but it lets go of the water, and then you have water in your gas. You basically, and that's what ruins those carburetors in the engine is the water and the gas. That's why your force trucks won't start. So you have to buy this this ethanol type guy. And I went last time I went to the lawnmower store. I asked the guy, I go, well, how long will this ethanol free gas last in this container? And he goes, in this container, if you don't open it, it essentially would last 25 years, because they put when they fill the gas up, they top it off with nitrogen, maybe not helium, some gas that has no water in it at all. So there's no water in that container whatsoever, or no air in that container.
Yeah, nitrogen they usually purge with nitrogen, but you're right. Alcohol it's called hygroscopic. So it really pulls in water, and you can't actually get 100% ethanol. It's impossible because it pulls right out the atmosphere immediately.
Is that why when I took my one of my tools in to get repaired, they said every spring when your stuff has been set in your weed eater and the lawnmower and all that, he said every spring throw all the gas out that's in it.
Well, but also what you do is, and I learned this from the hard way, is when you stop using it, you turn the gas off and drain the
run it out.
You just there's a little screw on the bottom. You just drain it out, and then you're okay. That's
and you should you got to get rid of the gas in your gas tank too, and run it out of your carburetor, or drain it out, or run it out.
On the other hand, I've had my Honda for 20 years, and I've never done that.
Well, I take it back, but to be safe, because I have a 5 horsepower, I think 5 or 10 horsepower generator that I use once in a while. And I just had to replace I used to have to get a little fine wire, and poke out all the crap, and
all the jets. Yeah.
But last year, a new carburetor was like $24. It was kind of crazy. Hooked it up.
That's cheaper than the gas. I think that ethanol free gas is like $30 a gallon, something like that.
Yeah, I'd rather drain it out and not buy that.
But yeah, you're going to go to the store and you're going to see this type of lawnmower and this type of lawnmower, and you're going to get to the end, and the Hondas are going to be, $200 more than a regular lawnmower or more, but they're worth it.
You went to the Home Depot, True Value, and there's a farm store here that might have some. So I get to do a little round and do some price check, but I don't even know if I'll be able to get a Honda. A lot of off brands have a Honda engine though too.
I've seen that.
So
I've seen that.
I'll have to look. I know Honda makes a very good quiet.
Yeah, my Ryobi. I was trying to think what I saw. My Ryobi pressure washer has a Honda motor on it.
Yes. Good.
Good deal.
Good deal. So what do you think? We don't have hardly any viewers. I got to go do some junk. What do you think? We just we'll finish this awkward moments pretty quick today. What do you think?
That's fine by me.
And
are you okay with that?
Okay.
Talk to y'all later. Bye, Joe. Bye, Pat.
Yeah, let's just wrap it up today. Tomorrow, 2 to 4, I'll try to post some things on Facebook for advertising that. And bye, Joe. Thanks, Kurt and Joe, for coming on. It's always help. Everyone else who's watching, peace, love, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. You get out of school early today. How about that? Take care and get a good night's sleep. And we'll see you tomorrow on Mother's Day. Good day. Peace.